What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hardworking Happy Hour. My name is Sean.
And I'm Catherine, and as always, we will be breaking down all things trades, entrepreneurship, and turning your creativity into a passion career.
Yes! Affirmative on that.
High energy.
High energy today.
How's your vibe, Sean?
My vibe is sky high. It cannot be shot down.
Yeah. All right,
It
good.
is just soaring like an eagle that has just risen from the ashes of a phoenix.
Whoa.
But it's not the phoenix itself. The phoenix rose from those ashes, and then the eagle swooped down and carried away that phoenix. That's how I'm feeling.
Oh, okay. Carried away the phoenix. Okay. I thought you were talking about like a little dust bath situation. Okay. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure everyone else understood the metaphor
Right.
there because it was pretty straightforward and not chaotic and manic at all. So I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving
Yeah.
because this is going to come out on Monday, but we're actually recording it the day before Thanksgiving. So
That always gets me. I need to get better at, this will be released after. So happy late Thanksgiving.
yeah, I hope everybody had a nice restful, maybe you had a long weekend. Maybe you got to take Friday off. Maybe you had a nice 4-day weekend possibly.
Yeah.
Hope so.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice. But,
What are you thankful for this year?
what am I thankful for? I have so many things to be thankful for.
Yeah.
I really do. Family, number one. Number two, I get to do something I really like every day. How fun is that?
That's pretty nice.
That's pretty nice. What else besides that? I would say my health.
Oh, there you go. It's a good one.
Can't take that for granted.
Nope.
So, and I've been prioritizing it a little bit more this year.
Yeah.
Shed some LBs.
Yeah. You did. That's great.
Yeah. What are you trying to say?
You were a big fat fatty before.
I was, yeah. Thank you for being straightforward with me. I was a big fat fatty. Still like a little bit, but
I would never say that. Sean just talks about it all the time.
so we're getting there. We're getting there, and
Yeah.
so I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, and it's just I feel like not a lot of people have. I mean, not everybody has a good family life and stuff like that, but I feel like a lot of people can relate to like being thankful for family and being thankful for stuff like that. But I feel like it's really great, and hopefully a lot of our listeners can also relate to this, that it's so cool what we get to do every day.
Yeah.
I think so. Like a lot of people out there go to work and they hate it.
Right.
And they just look forward to what they're going to do after work.
Or on the weekends. Yeah.
Yeah, I always look forward to work.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool.
That is very cool. That is
You think that's cool, too?
definitely something to be thankful for.
I think
good
so.
one.
I think so. I'm going to say that at Thanksgiving, if anyone asks. I feel like nobody ever asks what everyone's thankful for. They're just like, here's the turkey, just eat it.
Nobody ever asks?
I don't think so.
Oh. In
Maybe
my
not.
family, we do something that, like, when you sit down at the table, then everyone has to go around. Well, this is Pat's family. I feel like they're always doing something like that. They always make
Really?
you, like, go around the table and say something.
Huh. I would have thought that would be like a your family thing, because Linda seems like she would put that together. Like, okay, everybody, tell us.
If she was doing it, it would be like note cards that everyone would have to fill out. She'd have something very,
very
very prepared. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is Pat's family, but we always, even like when we get together on like a normal day, any kind of dinner,
Yeah.
you always have to say what your favorite part of the day was. That's another thing they do.
That's so nice.
It's very nice. Yeah.
I like that.
It's one of those things like a group activity that you're like, oh, I don't know. But then when you do it, you're like, oh, that
was
actually
nice.
felt nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Huh.
but I think a lot of people get asked what they're thankful for on Thanksgiving.
I'll have to take note of that, because
Maybe you should start the conversation.
that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I will do that.
Okay.
Because I think it is important to reflect on what you're thankful for, and more than just once a year, hopefully.
Yeah.
I like to reflect on it a lot, especially when, you might be in a funk or something. You say, you know what? There's
It ain't that bad.
It's not that bad. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So, Catherine, what are you thankful for?
I mean, pretty much everything you just said. Family, health, my job, my pets.
Yeah, you have a lot of pets.
I got a lot of pets. I'm very thankful for them.
Yeah.
Just like freedom, just in general. I feel like my life is very free. I can do a whole lot of whatever I want, and I'm very grateful for that.
Mm-hmm. Do you mean like in a personal sense or in like an America sense? Or like both?
And I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free. No, I didn't mean it in an American sense. I meant it like in a personal.
Are you also thankful in an American sense?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
I feel like let's not get into that. That feels like it's gonna
That's like
edge
political.
on.
But we do have freedom, and we do appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Sure, yeah.
Love that.
Sure, yeah.
Love to be free.
Love that, but I meant more of like on a day to day, I get to do whatever I want.
Personal freedom.
Personal freedom,
Yeah, not like religious freedom or
not a religious freedom or like a
constitutional freedom.
constitutional freedom. I guess I have those. Yeah, sure. I'm thankful for those too.
Okay, great.
I don't want to disparage those other things. I was just talking about something else.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
You know, just to differentiate the two. I just feel like on a day to day,
Because you're not anti-American, are you?
you?
You're very much
no.
so pro-American.
I'm pro America. Yeah,
We love America.
we love America.
Land of the free, home of the brave.
Yeah,
Land of the free because of the brave.
land of the free because of the brave.
Love
yeah.
that.
I used to sing the national anthems at all of the home football games and basketball games. So
That's awesome.
I'm yeah, love that. Would sing the national anthem right now if I needed to.
Go ahead.
But no, I'm not going to. But
Oh, say, can you see?
beautiful singing voice, Sean.
Thank you. It was a little falsetto at the end. Do you like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Head voice.
Anything else that you're thankful for?
Why you want me to say like my boss or something?
If you want to. If you want to, it's not mandatory, but if you feel in your heart that you are thankful for it,
I am thankful for my boss.
that's so nice.
You are part of that personal freedom thing though, because you do just kind of let me do whatever I want. So
Yeah,
that's pretty nice.
that's true.
So yeah,
Maybe I need to be more.
honestly, Sean, thank you.
Maybe I need to be more strict about that. You need to do these things. You're having fun. Stop that. This is work. Not supposed to be fun. Only supposed to be fun for the boss.
I think we get a lot of stuff done.
We do. We do. Okay, that's so great that you're thankful for so much. And hopefully everybody else has a lot to be thankful for. And like I said, I think that in the trades, there is that like overall sense of satisfaction that you get from doing what we do,
Yeah,
which is really cool. And it's something that you shouldn't take for granted.
yeah,
Because a lot of times it also means you're able to move your body. You're able
Very
to get
true.
out there. So
it is a gift. If you are able to wake up and move your body every single day in a productive way, that is a gift that not
that is a
everybody
gift.
has. So
That is a gift. Wow. I didn't know we were going to go so deep into what we're thankful for, but I really
Yeah.
feel a
That's nice.
sense of gratitude right now
nice.
for my life, which is nice.
this must be why people do like gratitude journaling, because it does
Yeah.
feel nice to just say what you're thankful for.
Do you ever do that?
Yeah. I did. I bought one that was like specifically for that. You know, it's like written
Yeah.
out for you and then you write what you're grateful for. But then I felt like after you do it a bunch, it's just kind of the same things.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's more beneficial to do it intermittently.
Okay. I actually, you know what? Journaling, I need to get back to that, I feel like. Because I used to do that and I would just do, I forget what they call it. They call it like, I think they call it morning pages is like
Okay.
the thing.
Morning in the morning, not morning like you're sad.
I mean, if you're sad, you can write about it, but yeah,
Okay.
in the morning.
Okay.
So you just wake up and you handwrite 3 pages of
Okay.
just like stream of consciousness stuff. And I did that for probably like a year. And I would always start out with, today I'm grateful for whatever. And I would try to think of something new. And it could be something really small. It could be something like super deep or whatever. It was just whatever came to mind that I was thankful for that day. I would always start off with that. And then I would just kind of like, just write like whatever was going through my head.
Yeah.
And like it didn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense all the time. Like it wasn't like, you know, you're writing out a logical paragraph. It was just like stream of consciousness. And I feel like it really helped me, being the ADHD person I am, like just get that jumbled mess out of my head first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And it set me up a little bit better. So maybe I should get back to that.
But yeah, I agree. We that was part of our first
It was.
our first goal setting plan was to do journaling. And I feel like I could never get the hang of it. I always ended up just being like, "Dear diary, today I felt like it wasn't actually
Like it was like a live
I wasn't
journal type of
I
thing?
wasn't
Yeah.
doing it correctly. It just turned into like a preteen's diary situation.
Which is fine. If that's how you
Which
feel.
maybe that's the way it starts. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I talked to one of those what are they called? Like healers? Shamans.
What?
Maybe not a shaman,
Okay.
but like at a you know, the people you talk to like at a yoga retreat.
Okay. Where
hippy dippy stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
she said that.
Where were you meeting healers? Was it at a yoga retreat?
Yeah,
Are you not at liberty to say?
not at liberty to say. But anyway, so
Okay.
this person
Yeah.
told me that I was an automatic writer. So you'd like,
That's what it's called, automatic writing.
yeah,
Thank you.
where you just kind of like black out and you just start writing stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's bunk because I never was able to do that. But maybe I haven't tried hard enough. So
Yeah. It is like, it was hard for me at first because like you have to, like when you're sitting there writing and you're writing it down, like you want to like have it make sense. And it's
Yeah.
hard to like almost like detach your mind from your hand and you're just like letting all your thoughts go straight onto the paper.
yeah.
And
And I feel like I can't write fast enough. Like my brain works at like 1,000,000 minutes a second. Like I can't write that fast.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
that was always my problem with it. Like even if I wanted to convey the things that I was thinking, like I couldn't write fast enough to keep up with it. And then like my brain's already had like 4 different thoughts before I'm like finishing writing.
Yeah. But that's
Maybe I
fine.
need to learn shorthand or something.
I don't know. Maybe just keep trying it.
Yeah, I guess
Let
so.
us. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to get back to doing it. And today we're recording this before Thanksgiving. So it's Wednesday. We won't be recording another podcast till next Friday.
Yeah.
I'll have like 8 or 9 days under my
journaling.
belt and we'll talk about it next week and
Okay.
we'll get back into it. But I think it was really helpful for me. But it is hard to do. It's
Yeah.
hard to do. And that's what makes it easy to be like, oh, this doesn't really work
This
for
isn't
me.
for me. Right.
But well, now I'm looking back at it, it's like that was actually really helpful, and I'm gonna try it again.
All right. I can't wait to
And-
hear the update.
Yeah, and it brings up another thing that I just thought about. Yesterday, Sarah was with my mom, and for whatever reason, Sarah was like, "When did you have a feeling that Sean had ADHD?" And my mom said, "Pretty early on, pretty early on, like in grade school." He was really having difficulty finishing any tasks before getting sidetracked and going on to something else. And she said that she talked to my teachers about it, and they were like, "Yeah, but he does really well on tests, so basically, who cares?" My mom was like, "That's not the way to look at it. We need
Yeah.
to acknowledge how little Shawnee learns, and I don't know, maybe do something about it."
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I don't know if anything was really done about it, but
I feel like nowadays though, like kids have IEPs.
yeah.
And I don't think that we, like when we were kids, I don't think that was a thing, right? I feel like it was just like a very fight for yourself and
Yeah.
figure it out.
They were like, Sean's just different.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, but something to think about.
Yeah.
Thought that was interesting. So
Very interesting.
very interesting. Okay, so should we get into one of the topics that we're going to be talking about today?
Let's do it.
Financing.
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 Yeah. This is very topical because we were just at Deck Expo and we were talking about it with other contractors and what they do.
We were.
Got into it a little bit.
We did. We did.
But yeah, so Sean, how do you feel? I know how I feel about it. How do you feel about it?
Yes. So
Well, actually, first, before we say that, let's say we're not just talking about financing in general, we're talking about like the contractor offering financing.
and let's also
Go.
say we're not offering financial advice. I feel like you always preface.
Yeah. I mean, I
Anything
think
with-
the point that we're both of us are making is that we're not offering financial advice, but yes, good disclaimer. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Just want to stay ahead of that. Okay, so financing. I think it's something that's talked about a lot, especially with the type of projects that we do. They're
Right.
high ticket items. They're a big investment, and
They are.
the research points to offering financing leads to selling bigger ticket jobs.
Right.
Clients will spend more if you offer financing. That's what the research shows.
Right.
But now I say this out loud. Who do you think's funding that research? Probably the financing companies.
Oh my gosh, it's an inside job.
It's an inside job. Could be, but that's kind of the consensus. And I've always been at, I guess, like an ethical or moral crossroads with this
Yeah.
particular thing, because I feel like in my personal life, would I finance something like a backyard? No, I wouldn't, because it's a luxury item. It's a
Right.
luxury. It's not a need. It's a want. And I always feel like I want to make sure that our clients aren't overextending themselves to get something that they really can't afford. And it's not really my place to say, hey, you can't afford this, whatever. Like, because I don't know what their how they're financing it personally, whether they're going out and getting a personal loan or a home equity loan, or, they're just like, like maxed out all their credit cards or whatever, getting cash advances to give me. I don't know. But I feel like offering the financing, it just feels like, I don't know. It always felt not totally right to me for whatever reason.
Didn't sit right.
It didn't sit right with me because I always felt like if you don't have this money like in your bank account, like maybe you go home equity loan because the rates are really low. But for the most part, I feel like you should have the finances in order where you can just write a check for this, whatever the project costs, whether it's $50,000 or $200,000. Like, if you're buying a $200,000 backyard, you should be in the financial position where it's just in your bank account and it's liquid and you write the check.
Okay.
That's kind of how I feel about it. And I'm not saying that that's right or that it's wrong to offer financing. I don't know. I'm at a crossroads about it, but what are your thoughts about it?
I disagree with you a little bit. I think that, like, especially like for our jobs specifically, it's a very specific type of client, and like maybe they do have the money in their bank account, but there are plenty of people that don't, but have the ability to finance it. However, what I will say is I have absolutely no interest in offering financial anything, because then that puts you in the position of like kind of having that conversation where a person might ask you financial advice. And I don't care where the money comes from. I just want to say, this is the amount, and then you get paid. If they want to finance the job through other financial means, a smart financial person would do that. They would seek out other financial, like they would go through their already existing avenues to finance something this large. I think it's not a great financial decision to just like see it at the bottom of an invoice and be like, oh, okay, let me just check out this app. Okay, bing, bang, boom, I'm done. Like, it's $200,000. Is that really how you want to make your decisions? No, you're probably going to shop it around or whatever. And if you do have it at the bottom of your invoice, the next call you're going to get is from your client being like, hey, I saw you offer financing. Can I talk to you a bit about it? Are you happy with the company? Like, what are the rates like? How do they compare? Have your other clients been happy with this financial whatever?
That's true.
And is that a conversation that you feel comfortable having? I wouldn't. If someone was like, hey, can you tell me a little bit more about it? I'd be like, no, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you financial advice. Yeah. And then they'd be like, okay, well then why is it here? What are you getting, like some sort of kickback from it or something? Like,
yeah.
And to me, that's just not a conversation I would ever feel comfortable having. I don't want to have that conversation. I want to say, this is the amount. I don't care how you get it. You put that money in my hand, money please.
Money please now.
I go on my way, they go on their way.
And deck for you later.
Yeah, I just feel like it
money
feels
now, deck later.
It feels like icky to be like, to have a client call and be like, hey, like, I wanted to ask you a little bit about this financing. I'm certainly not the one that should be offering any sort of advice or putting my input out there. Like, would you feel comfortable doing that?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so that's my problem with it. If a client wants to finance, I think that's on them. That, everyone makes different financial decisions, and if they want to finance it through their own financial means, have at. Don't care. But for me I just feel like the contractor, like us, we don't need to insert ourselves into that conversation.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. I didn't really consider it like that. Like, if you're offering the financing, then they're gonna ask you about it. Like, other clients have done this. Like, what is the rate, and how, like, all that stuff. I think that is a really good point, that you're gonna then be having to like sell them on this financing and saying like, yeah, this is a good financial decision for you to sign up for this whatever, and
it opens a door to a conversation that I don't think anybody wants to have. And then you can even get into like, if you have to like justify the financing and stuff, and then they're going to get into the conversation of like, okay, well, is this going to really improve the value of my home so much that this financial decision is worth it? And it's, it just turns into this much bigger conversation about money that I don't think either of us would be willing to have with a client.
That's true. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it quite like that, but that is a really interesting perspective, because you will have to have a conversation like that.
Yeah.
And, and you could also get into the situation where maybe somebody finances it, and like you said, they are, the loans, I'm not super familiar with how all the different ones, like the different companies work with the financing, but they have to be secured in some way, whether it's a personal secured loan, or it's tied to your home if there's like a lien against the house till it's paid off. But you could, like, the projects we do are a luxury. So I always tell people, like, yeah, it's going to increase your home value a lot. I'm not going to say that it's going to increase it more than what you paid for it. So if people kind of get behind on that, like maybe they lose their job down the road, or some sort of financial family situation comes up and then they fall behind on those payments, it's like now you're falling behind on the payments for this project, which was a luxury to begin with. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, it's like a slippery situation, a sticky situation and a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Where I think there are very financially astute clients that would say, you know, I have all my money tied up in investments that are paying me really well. And yeah, sure, could they pull out some investments and pay for it, you know, with a check? Absolutely. But some people look at it like, okay, I can finance this because I can put my money to work somewhere else, and I'm going to be basically making money at this point.
Right.
Some people are financially savvy enough to do stuff like that, and it works for them, and they know what they're doing. But I think the majority of people are more financially illiterate, and they're just like, okay, I can get this now, and I don't have to pay for it all right now. I like that. Let's do it. And I don't want to be in that situation where, you know, somebody gets into like some sort of like tough situation because of a project that we built. We want it to just be happy, good times and good memories. And you've already paid for it. The money's gone. We have it now. You have the deck, and all you're worried about is making memories, and you're not paying for it anymore. You paid for it. It's done.
Yeah.
You're not paying for it monthly.
Yeah. I think
that's how I feel. I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's just the situation that our jobs are in, that we don't really have to, it's not really something that comes across our minds because it's not really a topic of conversation, and very few clients have like even asked for it or asked about it. But I can see it as an advantage for like volume builders who are building just a ton of stuff, or like more stuff at lower prices maybe. But I don't know. I just, from our point of view, I just can't see it ever being necessary. But you know, maybe the economy tanks and then we have to pivot. But I just don't see that. And if that were to happen, then it would be even less of a reason to offer it.
I feel like it would feel even more sleazy.
Well, that's true, yeah. But if we ever got to a point where we were offering it, I would go crazy on research, so I didn't feel like I was giving people like bad information. You know.
And I want to take back the word. I said it would feel more sleazy. I don't want to say that, because a lot of people do offer financing, and they might be able to have a conversation with us and explain how they look at it, and it might make total sense, and it might feel like it's not. They're not trying to get one over on somebody. So I don't want to put it out there like if you offer financing, it's a bad thing.
Right.
I don't know whether it is or not. I have always felt like if people are going to invest in this really large luxury item, which is a backyard in our case, that I don't want to be involved in how they pay for it.
Right.
I think that's what it comes down to. Like you said, like you don't want to be involved in like. Our expertise is building, design and build. We're going to handle that side. The finances, I don't know. Talk to your accountant, talk to your financial advisor, talk to your lawyer, talk to your spouse, talk to whoever. Don't talk to me about it, because I'm not an expert in this. Right. And I think that's really the crux of it right there is I don't want to be involved in that part of the process.
Right.
So,
that's 100% how I feel. I don't want to have that conversation. I'm not comfortable having that conversation. So
you sound like you're getting choked up. Are you getting choked up?
I'm getting a little choked up
about it. I guess we should get into what we're drinking this week.
Did we forget that?
Yeah, we're like 25 minutes in, but it is early in the day, Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So we're having coffee again.
Coffee. We have like fancy coffee this time though.
It's in a fancy cup.
Well, yeah, but
Wawa.
We got some cappuccino mix stuff in there.
You gave me that little life hack where you fill up out of the little machine at Wawa. You get like a little bit of the cappuccino, and then you fill up the rest with the coffee.
Yes. Because all cappuccino is too sweet. So then you put a little bit of coffee in there, dilutes it. It's just perfect.
It's just like a flavor packed coffee at that point, instead of a sugary, lose your foot type of situation with the diabetes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's what we're having to drink.
Yep.
And this is what we're rapping about.
Next week we'll be
Financing.
back to beers or whatever.
It will be?
Probably. I hope so.
Okay. Back to beers or whatever next week. You can count on that. And, I think my perspective on this all comes back to how I look at finances personally and as a business owner. Mm-hmm. And I always like to have, I like to take a lot of risks in business and in my personal life, but I also like to be as financially safe as possible. So I don't like to finance a ton of machinery, like get into a ton of overhead with the prospect of, okay, if I take on all this overhead, then I can scale the volume and I can end up making more money. Like, I don't want that stress. It's stressful enough trying to run a business, trying to make the right decisions, trying to go in the right direction. And then on top of that, if you have that like financial burden on top of you of payments that you're committed to, I think it just leaves you in a really tricky spot that your hand is kind of forced into certain decisions.
Right.
And I always wanted to have that financial freedom to go in the direction that I wanted. And you kind of have a safety net. I like to call it my war chest. You got to build up a war chest as a business owner where if things go completely sideways, like if we didn't have work for the next year, we'd still be okay.
Just in assets?
Just in, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, I really hope that doesn't happen because that would really drain me pretty good. If I had to pay all you guys for an entire year and we brought in no money.
That'd be pretty bad.
But I owe, like, this past kind of like 3 weeks. So we went to Deck Expo. We were kind of off for a week for that. Plus, we've been waiting for this permit. So we've been like kind of like not super productive the last like 3 weeks. We were kind of finishing a job. What?
It just sounds so sad when you say it like that.
It does. Well, I mean, it's just,
We have done nothing for 3 weeks.
I mean, we have.
Oh.
Because we have other things to do in the business with
Yeah.
content and just other things that we need to catch up on. But we haven't been, like, we had basically some time finishing up some odds and ends on a project.
Yeah.
That was like the tail end of that one. Then it was like, okay, we only have like 3 or 4 days until we're going to leave for a whole week. So let's not jump into anything. And then, well, plus we did my mom's backyard, which
Right.
was for free.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, this is a short week because Thanksgiving and, we're going to have off the day after Thanksgiving. So a lot of stuff just kind of fell into place where it was like, we don't have we don't have a good chunk of time to like really jump into a project. So,
Right.
a lot of that could be like really hard for a lot of business owners because everyone's on salary. And it's like, essentially our overhead is with payroll and insurance, just basically our fixed overhead costs. It's about $10,000 a week. So you need to have that buffer in your business so that if you don't like start a substantial part of a project for 3 weeks, in this case, because of how things kind of played out with us, we're still okay. We can easily weather that storm. And I think if we were to have all of these equipment payments and truck payments and whatever else it is, it like puts you into a box where it forces your hand to make a decision that might not get you closer to where you eventually want to go.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Did that make sense? I was rambling a bit.
You were rambling
Was I
a bit. Yeah, a little bit. But I do get your
A
point.
little bit of a ramble, but that's okay.
Don't put yourself in a box. No boxes. What do you think the percentage is of, let's say, I'm sure it's very different industry to industry about who offers financing, but like, let's say specifically to deck builders, what percentage do you think offer financing?
I'd say somewhere around like between 10 and 20% would be my guess.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, because I'm sure like if somebody like, well, I don't even know. I was going to say a plumber, but maybe they don't. I was thinking like more of like an emergency situation, then you like kind of have to.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I'm surprised with 10 to 20, but I guess that makes sense.
I mean, that's just,
I don't know.
pulled that out of thin air, so I have no clue. But that's just, because I feel like a lot of people in the industry are like a huge majority of like deck builders. Like most of the decks that are being built aren't built by exclusively deck companies. Like it's
That's
like
true, yeah.
just people that like maybe build 2 decks a year and they're doing some other stuff. And like there's a lot of just like people that run a business in like the traditional old school sense of the word, and they're maybe a little bit older, and it's just like, you know,
you're getting paper receipts and stuff.
You're getting paper receipts, you're getting, you know, a paper contract, all that kind of stuff where it's like handwritten maybe.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge contingent of builders that are still operating that way that like aren't even like in that mindset where it's like, should we offer financing? I think that's, it probably will continue to grow, I think. But I think I've just always been very financially safe, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Conservative with your means.
Conservative with my means, yeah. So, and I think actually this month, the business is now 100% debt free.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You paid off the dingo?
Paid off the dingo. The dingo's paid off.
Perfect, because now it's broken.
It's been hanging on, and now we can just get a new one because it's paid off. Yeah, that was the only thing that was financed. The last thing that was financed was my truck. I paid that off probably like 4 years ago. Yeah, the dingo, because it was just like, you know, the interest rate was really low, and it was just like $600 a month comes out of the account automatically. So it was like, I kind of didn't even think about that, but now that's completely paid off, and now we're 100% in the business debt free, which is kind of cool. What should we buy now to stack up that debt?
A tiltator.
Tiltator. We can put it on the dingo.
You keep asking, that's always going to be my answer.
Yeah.
Something we do not need, but I really want.
Yeah.
Tilt rotator for those, just in case you're new and you haven't heard me call it a tiltator before. Which
they definitely should call it that, but
it's a missed opportunity.
Do you think that's enough on the finance stuff?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I think so. I've said my piece. Have you said your piece?
I think so. And I also want to reiterate, like, just because this is how I look at it, don't think that if you offer financing, we're going to judge you.
Right.
We will, but we won't tell you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We won't.
Every business is different, so that's, you know.
Yeah. And a lot of people might look at my view of personal and business finances as too risk averse. Like, hey, Sean, if you were just a little bit more aggressive with your money and financing stuff, you could grow so much faster. And you might be right, and you might be going down that route and having really great success with it. But for me, it's just a personal decision that, like, I just don't want to. I don't want to have that burden over top of me.
Yeah.
I want to be in a financial position where, if we want to buy a shop, we've stowed away money. We can buy a piece of land and a shop that we can buy cash, no payment, no mortgage on it. So then it's like we have that now.
Right.
And it's not like there's this immediate demand to, 10x our volume. 10x. So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm not the best businessman out there. These are just, the ramblings of a madman. So if you vibe with it, then cool. If you don't, then no judgment. You probably have a good reason not to. So
yeah.
Anyway.
All right. What else you got for us?
What else has been on your mind? Okay. So speaking of which, we like to not overextend ourselves with that fixed overhead like payments on trucks and equipment, but we like to hire new people.
We sure do.
We sure do, because teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
And we are looking at hiring 2 new employees. So 2. We have a videographer that's going to come on full time starting in about 2 weeks, which we are super excited about.
Yeah,
we have been searching for I'd say at least a year.
Yeah.
At least a year trying to find the right person. And I think we found him. I think he's going to be a great fit. I think he gets our vibe, and we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
So that's going to free us up a lot.
Yes.
So I kind of looked at it as it's going to free me and Catherine up a whole bunch, and the person that's freeing it up is better at doing that thing than we are.
Yeah.
So not only are we going to have more time, but we're going to have somebody doing the video stuff that's better than we were at it.
100%.
So I think that's like a win-win-win.
100%.
But we're hiring another video/content kind of person. You know what that means?
We got to produce more.
We got to produce more. So we need to hire another carpenter.
We need to hire another carpenter. I think it's time. Yeah. I think it's beyond time, and I'm very excited. Not beyond time. That sounded mean. I don't mean it that way, but I think we're ready. to have another
Yes.
carpenter on the crew.
Yes,
And we haven't found that person, so
yeah, if you're listening to this,
you want to apply.
we haven't actually put that one
Come on down.
out yet.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about it for a while, and this is kind of how we're looking at it. I'm kind of looking at it like we have teams out there.
Yeah.
So we kind of have. I feel like Tom and Jose are a good teamwork team.
Yeah.
And then we have Ant, and I feel like Ant needs like a little helper.
A helper.
He needs like a gopher.
Okay.
So somebody.
So we're going for a green person, a newbie.
I think ideally the person would have a little bit of experience, but
Okay.
we definitely don't want to hire somebody that is like coming in thinking they're going to be a lead carpenter. We want somebody that's like young, hungry, go-getter.
Willing to learn.
Willing to learn, but they always have to have that, like that something that
Yeah.
you kind of need, like that inclination towards acclivity. What is the word I'm looking for?
I'm not sure.
They need to
finish-
have that inclination towards that thing. Like some people are
Okay.
just like, some people you're not going to be able to teach how to be a carpenter. They're just like,
Oh, I get what you're
I'm
saying.
all
Yeah,
thumbs
right.
here. You know what I mean? That
Right,
kind
right,
of thing. What would that word be? You're good with words.
Proclivity?
That was the word. Yeah. Jeez. See, I knew you would know it. I knew that you would know it. So thank you for that.
You are welcome.
Yeah, some people don't have the how do you say it?
Proclivity.
The proclivity towards that. And you need to find somebody that has that can also learn. I feel like Tom was a great example of that.
Yeah.
He catches on really quick to things.
Yes, he definitely did.
It's like, you don't have to teach him how to use a saw. He's just like, and you can just tell like the way that people like grab a tool and like do things. You're like, okay, this person's going to get it. This person's not. So yeah, we're looking for somebody like that. And so then we have 4 people out there 100% of the time. And obviously with the videographer, it's going to free us up to be on the tools more.
Yeah.
And you know what that means?
What?
The A team's going to be out there
A-team.
more. High five.
Woo!
So
I'm actually really looking forward to that.
so am I.
I feel like at first I was really on the tool, not like really on the tools, but I was on the tools a good bit. But then my skills kind of pushed me back into the van for
Yeah.
most of the time,
Yeah.
and I'm really excited to get back out there.
once you really started doing most of the video editing, then it
Yeah.
was like you were kind of doing that full time.
Yeah.
So
So I can't wait.
I'm really excited for it too because I think it's just gonna elevate us in so many different directions. We're gonna have another carpenter on site, so that's gonna increase productivity.
Right.
We're gonna have a videographer, which frees us up to be on site more. So I think it's gonna be productivity is gonna go through the roof,
Yep.
literally,
Yeah.
and I think also our content's gonna be so much better.
Because we're always going to be doing something.
We're always
gonna
gonna be doing something.
creating content.
Yeah, and the faster that we produce these projects, the more good content we can get.
Right.
And so there's going to be more opportunities for content. We're going to be out there more, and we're going to have somebody doing all the videography that is just better at it than we have ever been.
I can't wait.
All things are looking
The
up.
future is so bright.
Future's so bright. So I'm so excited for that, and I think this kind of ties into that finance thing because I am kind of conservative with my money, with savings, with all that kind of stuff. So we're able to say, you know what, a videographer it's not immediately going to increase our bottom line. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's going to get us closer to where we want to go in the long run. But day one, hiring a videographer costs us money, doesn't make us money.
Right.
Hopefully that changes, because we want to keep
Investment for the
growing.
future.
Exactly. But we're able to do that because I'm not like overwhelmed with debt in business or in my personal life. So
Right.
I think,
Because you have been conservative financially, it has allowed you to take a risk in a different area of the business.
bingo.
Yeah. Love
that.
Jinx.
Jinx. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just how I live my life. And once again, I just want to say,
You could be doing it all wrong.
I could be doing it so wrong. I don't know. I'm just out here trying to just swim my way through life. And I got no goggles on. The chlorine's burning my eyes, so I can just open them for a second. But then I gotta close them again.
Yeah. Doggy paddling through life.
That was a good metaphor. So yeah, these are just my thoughts, and take it all with a grain of salt. But
Yeah.
but I do think in this scenario, it it leaves that opportunity open for us to take risks towards that vision.
Right.
It allowed me to take risks early on in business where I didn't have to like say, okay, we don't have the money in this job to do this really cool feature. I was like, you know what? I've got savings. I've got low overhead. We can add this feature in to get this cool picture, to be able to market to future clients that will pay for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we're very vision based around here, and
we're
think
like
that
almost 100% exclusively
pretty much, yeah. We're vision
based.
based, yeah.
So
Everything we do is towards the vision, and I think you got a good plan.
You think so?
I think you do, and I think that
Cool. That's good.
I think we always say, like, if you have a plan, you work towards it, it's going to work out. You know, you might make some missteps or whatever, but that's the plan. That's the vision.
Go for it.
We're going towards it. And
yeah.
so far, you've done a great job towards the vision, and we're going to keep going towards that vision.
Do you think that I've earned the self-appointed title of Chief Vision Officer?
I think you have, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
you have
that.
officially earned that.
Thank you. And if you disagree with that, you're fired. So.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. I think I've rambled enough on that kind of stuff. Do you think I've rambled enough on that kind of stuff?
I think so, yeah.
Hey, you know what? This was another one of those like therapeutic episodes. I feel better getting all this out. I've been
weekly therapy session.
Yeah, I've been I guess strategizing all of these moves in my brain so much, but it's nice to just get it out there, like because it is like going to be a risk hiring a new person. Hiring another carpenter. Are we going to have enough work for them? You know, are people going to be standing around? You can get kind of bottled up in your own mind with those fears, but then, I mean, we always do it anyway. So there's that. But now I feel a lot more free about it now that we've just really aired it out. And so, yeah.
Yeah. I think with the financing thing, I didn't realize I had such strong feelings about it because it's not really something that has come up. Yeah. But I think that it's a good thing to kind of explore and see if it's the right thing for you. Yeah. And I'm glad that we had that conversation with a couple people at Deck Expo, and it made me really like think on it and form my thoughts into nice little thought bubbles and realize I did have actually very strong thoughts on it. So
yeah,
I also feel like I kind of worked through that.
Me too, because I always knew like I had some sort of hesitation about it, and I didn't really know why, but I think you summed it up pretty good. That like. We don't want to get into that conversation. We don't want to say, yeah, you should finance this. I don't know. Hey, I don't want to be part of that conversation. If you're overextending yourself,
that's on you.
That's on you. I don't want to have any part of that. It's this much for us to do the project. It's zero for us not to do it. That's it.
Yep.
That's it, and that's all.
That's it.
And all.
We hand you invoice. You hand us check.
Done.
Ding. Done.
Then we got to build it.
Yeah, I guess at some point.
Which we will. Don't worry.
We will.
We'll be back. I promise. So, something to think about there. So, okay. I think, thank you for that conversation.
Thank you for that conversation.
No problem. So, okay. I think that's enough on that. Same page?
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. All
right, what do you think?
I guess the episode's just done and there's nothing else to do.
Hold up,
What?
Sean.
What?
We have one more thing to talk about.
What do we have?
Well, actually, technically two, I guess. What? The secret question.
The secret question of the week.
All right. Yeah, I always go first, so you go first.
Okay. I will go first.
All right. Let's hear it.
You really pressured me into that one. Okay. So we are hiring a new videographer. I think, like we said, it's going to free up a lot of our time to focus on other stuff. What is, especially recently, you've been doing like a lot of the filming and a ton of the editing. So it's really kind of like been a huge time suck for you.
Right.
What are you looking forward to the most in just being able to focus on some more bigger picture things? Just in general, what are you most excited for that your time is going to be freed up?
That's a great question.
It is? Thanks. Yeah. Appreciate it.
I am really excited because I do think it is going to, I have been really focused on that lately. And my technical title is Director of Global Expansion. And I'm not sure I've totally lived up to that yet. So
we'll talk about it in your year-end review.
So I'm really just excited to focus on those bigger things that we are working towards and really get a plan together to get to those new steps. I think that with our new defined roles, it's going to change a lot of things and just we used to have like these brainstorming sessions, which we haven't had in a while. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited to kind of have those brainstorming sessions. And there is one really big project that I'm very excited about. And maybe this is a tease because I don't think I can talk about it yet. And I don't necessarily want
Why
to talk
not?
about it yet.
Why?
I don't think
can
it's
we
time
know?
yet. I don't think it's time yet.
It's not time yet?
It's not time yet. No, it's a very big thing. And it's going to take a lot of work to get it all together. And I'm really, really excited about it. So I think that
That's a tease.
it's tease. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with my newfound free time, I think that is going to, this one big project, I think is going to lead to a lot of similar type things. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a new big opportunity for us. And I'm very, very excited about it. It's a tease. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Did you do that intentionally?
The what? Ask that question?
Yeah, for the tease.
No, I didn't know what you were going to say because it's a secret question and a secret answer, so
That's
I didn't know what you
true.
were going to say.
All right, so what are you excited about? You're going to have a lot of new free time too.
I am probably just
Hanging out with Anthony.
probably all the productivity that will be gained will be drained by me just like distracting it. No, I would say I'm looking forward to being able to be on the tools a little bit more.
Yeah.
And also, just be able to focus on those big picture things. And I think I'm looking forward to you having more time to like dedicate towards those bigger projects that like take a lot of planning and initiative to like get going. Like, yeah, we've brainstormed, we've come up with this idea, but we right now don't have the time to like set aside and put all these steps into place to make these bigger vision goals happen.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited to be able to like steer the business in that bigger direction that we want to go, follow those big opportunities and have the time to be able to dedicate to getting there, which I think that's going to be really playing into your strengths. Like we have those brainstorming sessions, and then you can kind of like sit down and put a plan into place of how we're going to implement this into the business. So
Yeah.
I think me being on the tools more, being more on site, I think that's going to lead to so much more, like so much better content that we can do. And I think it's also going to, you're going to be on site a lot more too, building, but I think in that other time, you can chase down those big opportunities that we want to pursue, but haven't had the time to. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited to see.
So
in a
you're
year
excited
from
for
now-
me to have more free time.
Not free time, not free time.
Freed up time. Not free up. Not free time, freed up time.
Yeah. Whatever, however you want to say it. Yeah, I'm excited for you to get a lot more done. That's what
excited to
I'm
delegate
excited for.
things to
Yeah,
me. Perfect.
But I'm just so excited to see where we will be a year from now.
Yeah.
I think
too.
that the business is going to be transformed. I feel like we're just starting to hit our stride.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the future, and I just can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So excited.
Okay.
Write that down. What's today? November 23rd.
We are so excited.
For
that sounds
next
like
year.
that sounds like a war diary. December. What is it? The
November 23rd.
November
2022.
23rd. Sean and Catherine were so excited for the future.
The future
Little did
looked-
they know that the future would never come.
Oh, God, we die?
The plague.
Oh, no, another one.
Another plague. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
yeah.
Hopefully we live to next year
Bad
and we look
foreshadowing.
back and say, wow, we were right. It
Yeah.
is exciting where we're at right now. So
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
That's enough for that question. What do
That
you
was
got
a deep
for
one.
me?
That was a deep one.
Yeah.
Mine is jauntier. Okay, so you know the show Real Housewives,
No,
or
never heard of
really
it.
any
What
of
is
these
that?
like reality shows.
Yeah, I know what it is.
In the intro, these people like they whip around and they're like they have some sort of tagline, some sort of catchphrase,
Yeah.
something sassy.
Yeah.
I can't even think of one off the top of my head now, but you know what I mean. What would your like? Let's say they give you a real Deck Builders of South Jersey reality show.
Whoa.
You whip around, your hair flowing in the wind. What's
Yeah.
your sassy tagline?
Okay. I don't know.
Do you want to practice the whip around?
Yeah, I kind of feel like I need to be like, I'm Sean from Premier Outdoor Living, and I don't know what it would be like. My deck's bigger than yours, and it's not even close.
Whoa,
Or I don't know, because
that might be too scandalous for
that might be too
daytime
scandalous.
TV.
Oh, this is going to be a daytime television?
I don't know.
Not
what is
prime time.
Prime
Probably
time?
not. Probably not prime time.
Deck Builders of South Jersey? You don't think that's
I don't know,
prime
maybe.
time material?
Might be a stretch, but I don't know. That's the only thing that came to mind. Is that good or no?
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's your tagline. You get to come up with it.
Okay. All right, we'll go with that. Do you have one?
Yeah.
You thought of the question, so I hope
I do,
that you
yeah.
had more time to think about it.
So at Deck Expo, I met somebody, and they said that I was the sweetheart of the deck industry, which I think is absurd, but it was very sweet that
Who
they
said
said
that?
I can't even remember the person's name. It was somebody that we met.
Huh.
It was a new person that I hadn't met before.
Okay.
But I thought that was very kind, and it made me laugh. So I was
Wow.
like, my tagline would be,
Yeah.
I may be the sweetheart of the decking industry, but my footings are always in the ground.
I don't
Something stupid like that.
like you're still grounded.
Yeah.
Okay, like you're the sweetheart of the deck industry, so big ego,
Big
big
ego,
head,
yeah.
but
What a
my
high
footings
prestigious
are
title.
Always in the ground.
Yeah.
On the ground or in the ground?
In the ground, I get what would have to be in the ground. I was trying to do like a metaphor thing, you know?
Yeah, and also related to deck building.
Deck building, yeah.
Okay,
But
I like that.
can't remember who said it. And if they listen to this podcast, I'm so sorry, and reach out and I will give you credit because it was very sweet and
Oh,
it made me laugh. So
yeah.
it'd be something along those lines.
I like it.
Yeah.
it. I think we can both improve that a little bit.
All
I
right,
think
we'll maybe come back next week with our tagline.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I think that this one needs like I want to think of something really good, like something
Okay.
really like witty, because it's
Okay.
always like I can't think of them like
Yeah.
sweeter than sugar, hotter than hell, like whatever. It's always some like ridiculous.
It
thing.
is, yeah.
That was a pretty good one.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was
Sweeter
good.
than sugar, hotter than hell.
Yeah.
And I'll bite your head off. Like it's always like some ridiculous thing. So we'll think of a really good one for next week. I like
Okay.
that.
All right.
I
All
like
right. Well,
that
you're
homework.
funnier and cleverer, more clever than me. So
Yes, that's true.
help me do mine too.
Okay. All right. Well, once again, I hope everybody had an amazing Thanksgiving. If you feel like you didn't take time to say what you're grateful for, do it right now. Do it today.
Yeah.
Do it today as you're listening to this, and next week we'll talk about how my journaling goes. It's going to be a little bit of gratitude. It's going to be a little bit of stream of consciousness, and it's going to be something
Maybe-
that we'll update you on.
Yeah. Maybe you could do like a live reading.
No, it's so personal. It's so personal, and it doesn't even make sense most of the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I don't like that idea.
I was just kidding. That would be very boring.
Maybe it'd be really exciting. You don't know.
You're
I
right.
don't know either.
Sorry, I don't mean to
All
talk
right.
about your
Well,
subconscious like that.
I think we are rambling enough. What do you think? Did we ramble enough?
I think so. I got my rambles out.
I got my rambles out. So everybody, thank you so much. Please leave us a 5-star review if you get the chance, and reach out to us on Instagram. And till next time, this has been the Hardworking Happy Hour.
See you next week.